cottagecore, hippie starter pack, grunge starter pack, fairycore starter pack, weirdcore mood board, traumacore, goblincore, high side retro, retrocore, gorecore, sea salt honey granola? Genuinely, what the hell is going on? What is all of this? You may be asking yourself that, dear viewer, but I promise you, there is a method to the madness. I'm so sorry if I act weird in this video. I woke up terrible today. I think I have like a fever or something, so if I act weird, that's why. Hello, my name is Rowan, and this has been on my mind a long time. Not having a fever, aesthetics. It's like every time you go deeper into the internet, there's a new core or aesthetic that you discover. Like, there's even an aesthetic for abandoned, rotting convenience stores, but that's something that we're gonna get into later. It's raining outside right now. This is so aesthetic. This is so, like, relaxed core, joy-pilled, whimsical. Okay, we all either identify ourselves with an aesthetic or we don't. Me, I would consider myself like joy grunge. I don't know if that actually exists, but that's what I thought of for myself and like my fashion style. Plus, like, this, whatever this is, I love this. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming. I know I used to go online and search for hours for an aesthetic I felt connected with, and I've been so many things in these past years I can't even count. Well, I can. Clowncore, weirdcore, grunge, albeit very poorly done grunge, hippie, 80s nerdy, and finally joy grunge slash whatever the hell I want. Before we talk any further about this, let's just get introduced to some aesthetics that we're going to be talking about in this video. Subject 1. Cottagecore. It's whimsical and based off of simple living in groves sprinkled with dappled light. It's about baking bread, picking wildflowers, and it's perfect for people who just want to run away and live in the forest as like a nice witch. Subject 2. Clean girl. This one does get some hate from people on the internet just due to the mean attitude of some people who adopt this aesthetic.
Stop getting tattoos. Tattoos, very simply, don't look good. They don't look.
But it's really just about cleanliness, structure, and things being polished until they are gleaming white. Subject 3. Decaycore. Based off of incidents like the abandoning of Mexia's supermarket, this aesthetic is moldy, smelly, stinky, and they like it that way. It explores what happens to places when people just like up and leave, and you know, what was left behind by humanity. Subject 4. The office siren. This has had a lot of people accuse it of being problematic, but only in certain ways. This is an exploration of what happens when Bayonetta quits fighting demons and gets a job in the office. It's smart, foxy, and it's hardworking. Honestly, 8. But let's delve a little bit deeper into this stuff now that we've got acquainted with some of the aesthetics. Why do we like them so much? Why do we loathe them entirely? Where do they even stem from? All of these questions will be answered. Just hang in there. Just before we get into it, remember to like this video if you like me, and subscribe if you really like me, because making videos is a passion for me and it lets me know other people also like my stuff. So let's just get talking now, because I can't wait any longer and my head's starting to fucking throb. Something aesthetic or aesthetically pleasing just means that it looks good, it looks appealing to you. As an adjective, it means to be concerned with beauty or the appreciation of beauty, or something designed to give pleasure through beauty. As a noun, it's just principles for an artist or an artistic movement, which is the tense that we're going to use for the rest of this silly little video. I feel like in 2020, that's when the concept of aesthetics and cores became way more popular. I started seeing the word being thrown around willy-nilly then, and I was 100% on board. I think it's because everyone was online more then, like the internet was just the main way of communicating for like everyone. It was either that or risk being bedridden, or worse. And while everyone was chatting and posting and liking, more little communities and labels started to pop up. And while not everyone likes them, the internet sure does love labels. It loves categorizing things and giving feelings names. And with social media being more speedy, with everyone more online than ever, that means the rate of aesthetic creation was speedy too. From Tumblr to TikTok to Pinterest, algorithms eat that shit up! Because videos like POV, you're a fairy living in a mushroom baking bread on a Monday morning, get so much attention, and like fair enough, because who doesn't want to do that? People love imagining themselves away from the society we've made for ourselves in a place covered by trees and flowers, or in a cyberpunk world if that's what you want. And they also get really popular with people who aren't really that online. Like, and I know I keep bringing this one up, cottagecore is probably known by everyone and their mother at this point. Core is also getting increasingly popular, I think. I'm just seeing it on Pinterest more. Like, I don't know if it actually is, do not shoot the messenger. That's an aesthetic that's inspired by a lot of things Japanese related, clean, lots of trinkets, fresh produce, cutesy stuff. It's also one of my favorites when it's done right, which is when it's the least amount of consumerism possible. But something like clowncore or indie sleaze is lesser known to the majority, despite clowncore having quite a big community. But there's also an aspect to creating one, because your thing could be the next big thing. People love to jump on the bandwagon and see if they could come up with an aesthetic name that people all over the internet start using, because they love the idea of starting a trend. That's how popular aesthetics are. Someone could sneeze online and it would become the new aesthetic. The community surrounding them is filled with creatives and people who just want a name for their look, whether that's to help them search for fashion items online or just to identify themselves with something. Either way, there are so many aesthetics. Let's just think about why they are such a huge cultural phenomenon in today's society, where more people feel safe to come out as LGBTQ+, where more people are getting correctly diagnosed as autism or ADHD. Because if you are searching for your identity, like searching to strengthen it, or if you feel disconnected from other people or you want to find a community, a lot of people find that having an aesthetic helps. Because aesthetics or cores can help express things that we can't really put into words. It's like a visual language. I've said this a lot, but it's literally just a community of people. It's very, very meaningful for a lot of people. It can also lead into escapism, like what I was insinuating before, where people can use aesthetics and styles and decoration to try and imagine themselves in a different world. That sort of thing is really popular with cottagecore people, fantasycore, sometimes liminal core likers. But the real question is, when does it stop being fun? When do people start disliking the idea of aesthetics? Well, some people just don't like labels outright. Some people think we shouldn't give a name to things. Some people don't like labeling themselves. That's just them. But there's bigger reasons why people can dislike aesthetics, with them being a notoriously online thing, popular with the queers. Some people just think it's cringe. And that's it. That's their only reason. But luckily there are some more understandable, often mature reasons. For a lot of people, it can stop being fun when the community surrounding it turns to gatekeeping. You can't be this if you do this, you're not doing that right, you can't be this, you can't be one of us. And it leans into subcultures too, like being punk. And to be honest, I think it's okay to gatekeep that. It's a societal movement. There's fashion, music, ideology, activism. But when people take that and make it into an aesthetic, punk loses all of its meaning. It isn't a style, it's a subculture. Same with being goth or emo. They're all societal movements about standing out and not being in the status quo, speaking out on problems. But that doesn't mean we can't let people be new at those things, that we shouldn't let anyone in, because it's a culture, it's built on people. And on that note, people can also create aesthetics at a way too rapid pace. Like, they are just cranking that shit out factory style. Mass production Jeff Bezos ass individuals. With this hyper curation, people can see aesthetics as forced, like you have to have one. New things constantly have to be pumped out, and it just makes for an unhealthy community and an unhealthy lifestyle, focusing solely on what aesthetic you must adhere to, or the true stands will come for you. You don't see this with many aesthetics, by the way. I'm just explaining why some people may come to hate them or find them annoying. Like, I've never once seen a scene person say another scene person isn't seen enough. But the moment an aesthetic becomes a rulebook, it stops being fun. Basing what people can be in this aesthetic because of looks isn't fun. It's not cute. Discriminating is embarrassing, guys, remember that. And then you get consumerism rearing its ugly, ugly head. Extensive gift guides, must-haves for specific aesthetics. They are even turning cottagecore into a consumerist cesspit. Like, that's the most environmentally friendly aesthetic ever. And stuff like this brings the illusion that identity is purchased. You must buy really expensive new things to be cool. And don't get me wrong, like, I get it. Some things are hard to find on Vinted or charity shops or thrift stores, as they say in the USA. But that doesn't mean you have to drop your morals and go straight to Shein or Temu. Just look into small businesses, go local. A lot of cool stuff is made by local small businesses. There's a shop literally in my city centre that is filled with local businesses, and all of the stuff there is awesome sauce. And in saying that, the majority of the online community is fighting back against aesthetic-based consumerism. Thank you so much to the people on Instagram and probably other socials who are fighting for this change. Anyway, on top of all that stuff, it is so easy to get like overwhelmed with the amount of aesthetics there are like in the first place. Okay, let me just... cinnamon granola, maple granola, vanilla granola, blueberry granola, sea salt honey granola, hello again, and oatmeal raisin. Holy moly, holy moly. There are a lot of aesthetics with a lot of sub-aesthetics, and for some people this is really, really, really overwhelming. But if we think about this in a rational way, then we'll realize that it literally doesn't matter. That is how people describe their styles, and it's awesome. Even if raisin cookies freaking suck. But to get into my last point with an example, it's that some aesthetics or trends can get a lot of backlash for certain reasons. Like, let's take Office Siren for example. It's taking 2000s aesthetics and adding in like sensual, flirtatious vibes, like this kitty has claws type stuff. Parts of this is just like relatable, like these are just vibes, these are literally the vibes. And genuinely, there is nothing wrong with any of this at all, but the initial problem started with people thinking that the participators of this trend and aesthetic are actually going to work en masse like this.
Office siren? Office siren? Oh, this outfit is so office siren core. Bitch! You're an walking HR violation.
But the fact is, nobody I have seen actually goes into work like this. I heard word a while ago that a teacher was wearing this style, you know, at work, and a school is not the place to dress in a style that's openly provocative. Sorry to sound harsh. No, I can't find anything about this right now, but if you actually do know anything about this, then please let me know in the comments. Office siren? I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about her. I don't know if she actually thinks people go to work like this or what, but I love her video so much. New vehicle stem. But people with an issue against office sirens don't really have much of a stable basis to go off. Oh my god, I don't know if it's actually hot in this room or if it's just me and my fever, but like, Office siren isn't a style people actively wear to go to work in. It's something people complain about others wearing, what women have been harassed and bullied for wearing. And they've turned that into a beautiful style, studying or going out in these cunty fits. But a lot of people don't like it because most outfits portray it as like sexy. But what's even wrong with that if you're not in a working environment? Like fitted trousers, sharp heels, tie, suit matching the shirt, librarian glasses. It eats. It eats so much. Put this back on because I am now freezing. But that's enough of the negatives. What does having an aesthetic really mean for an individual or for a community? Let's look at it from a fresh, nice, helpful lens and reframe them a little bit. I feel like I've just came off of a 4-hour long drive. This isn't good. I gotta lock in. I feel like sometimes it can be seen by some as like you're making your whole personality, and some kids might get the impression that that's what it is and try to make that their whole personality. Like, there is nothing wrong with little 12-year-old James wanting a tea set to fulfill his cottagecore dreams, but there's an issue with kids becoming obsessed with something and then not developing their brains or personalities any further. But that isn't the point. The point of aesthetics is that they are tools, not a prison, diva. And you don't even need one. It's very important to mix and change and try out new things, and most people need to accept that character customization is so real. Like, do whatever you want with your body and your clothes, it's you. As long as you want, like, walking into town square naked in front of everyone, because then you'll need to accept that you'll be arrested. But what I'm saying is that aesthetics exist to serve us. They are just terms we can use to describe ourselves. It's not cringe to have one, and it's not boring to not have one. Just be you, clean girl or gorecore. Speaking of, gorecore has also been a point of interest for some, just because of the moral implications. The moral implications. Like, some people can go way too far with this aesthetic and enjoy, like, snuff films. Others just stick with enjoying the anatomy in the body, inside and out. Because, like, I can get it. I think that it's really cool how our bodies, like the veins and strips of fat in our meats, can look parallel to roots on a plant or, you know, cracks in a rock. And some people just like the aesthetic of the body. Gorecore and similar aesthetics aren't inherently bad as long as they aren't fetishized. Stuff like traumacore, like I don't really think I can get behind that. To me, personally, it just seems like romanticizing trauma. But I think some people actually do use it to help themselves cope with their own trauma. Like what can I say? It's the same as gorecore, like, just don't fetishize these things. Aesthetics and cores create communities of people who may enjoy things out of the status quo. Things a lot of people may deem gross, like mold or decay. There's been a relatively new aesthetic, I believe, to be called decaycore, which started after the resurgence of a story about a convenience store called Mexia shutting down with no prior notice. All of the food was left inside to rot, and people found this incredibly interesting. Like, what would even happen to food or other products if humanity just stopped working? Some people find the ugly beautiful, like the growth of mold or spillage of old milk. But there is a whole lot to this aesthetic, and I'm not personally doing a deep dive, but there are plenty of YouTubers you should check out who have. But aesthetics can also explore nostalgia in fun and interesting ways. Liminal spaces have been extremely popular recently, which some people are happy with and some people aren't so happy with. Liminal spaces were originally to provoke thoughts and feelings about being completely alone, where there isn't any real monster, just you and a vaguely uncomfortable, dream-like world. Why did I sound like the Ed, and Eddie Purgatory Theory song?
Ed and Eddie, Purgatory Theory. Ed and Eddie, Purgatory Theory. The Purgatory Theory is a fan theory about the characters from the TV show Ed and Eddie that suggests they are dead and living in a...
Some people really don't like the addition of monsters and lore, like in the back rooms, and I can get behind that. But I am a lore and creatures #1 fan, so I have to sit my ass on the fence for this one. Let's just begin to wind down and shut this operation down. You don't owe anyone consistency or an explanation, and neither did they owe you that same thing. Aesthetics are fun, fluid, and most importantly, optional. They were literally created for fun, and there is no reason to take them that seriously. Just remember that they are different from subcultures like punk or goth. But I think that people use the word core a lot because these things are your cores, like, you get what I mean? Like, they are your building blocks, your base. They aren't necessarily your whole because you have to do that, you have to make that. But they help to make you who you are. I hope that you all enjoyed this video wherever and whoever you are, because I definitely enjoyed researching and recording, if you can call this research. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this and if you want to see more, and thank you so much for watching again. Bye 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 bye!